everybody, the Lucy Podcast, brought to you by Roughneck Scars and Golden Goal Press. My name is Tony. I'm here with Dave and David. Dave Stevens, David Sterling. I'm Tony Privananzi. We are coming to you today from Lupulin Brewing Company in Big Lake, which is a little bit out of the metro area for us.
Yeah.
I mean, we usually don't come this far out.
Yeah. Your house is the furthest.
Yeah, it's right by my house, so it's not too bad. We have a special guest, Ben, who is are you brewmaster?
I'm the head production brewer.
Okay, production brewer. So what does that entail?
So that entails anything that we do on our 30-barrel system, from planning and development to final packaging and distribution. So everything, it entails everything.
Okay.
We're still small enough yet where we still wear a lot of hats. So that's kind of a global label, I guess you'd call it.
Okay, cool. So we're, of course, drinking some beers here. I have the Fun Pants.
Yes.
Which is a blonde ale, right?
Yeah, it's a session-style blonde ale, something we wanted just to do. A light, refreshing beer, something you can just kind of jam on all day. It's really like a cabin beer, more or less. Something you just have a couple pints of all day and kind of work around. Something we really wanted to, something we thought in the market up here especially was sort of lacking. Yeah,
the market, I mean, to talk about the market up here, you're kind of in a small town.
Right.
And I know for a fact that, people in these areas, they don't want to drink a lot of the IPAs or what. They like just the regular drinkable beers.
They like beer that tastes like beer.
Yeah, exactly.
So I think it's kind of the thing. We have a pretty big proponent of the Busch Light crowd in this in our market. So a lot of what we do is not only kind of keeping ahead of the times and like just the rest of the craft beer development. So the hazy IPAs, pastry stouts, sour IPAs, fruited IPAs. But we also want to kind of still contribute to our market and kind of maybe grow their palates a little bit.
Sure.
So having something that's still craft, but still is kind of approachable.
Okay.
And I noticed you also have the Dortmunder, which is just a basic Pilsner, which I would suspect a lot of people would
Dortmund
probably.
lagers are really approachable. We have actually we have two other Pilsners on right now, and we're going to have a black lager coming on. So it's sort of, we're trying to keep in that kind of crushable area between like 4 to 5%.
Yeah,
light body.
Yeah,
easy.
looking at the beer list, it's quite large actually.
Yes.
And are there how many of those are on the menu, say, year round? Or do you rotate quite a bit of them?
We rotate a lot. I think we probably have like 5 or 6 beers that are our mainstays.
Okay.
So Java Ties is one. Fun Pants is going to be one. We're going to keep that around for a long time. Fruit Smack is a revolving series, which you have. That one we kind of we started it and we're like, well, we want to do a fruited IPA. So that one we started with raspberry the first time. I don't know if you guys got any of that, but this one's Alfonso Mango fruited IPA. So that one we're going to have on as much as we can. Just trying to keep up with it. As with anything, having a large beer menu requires a lot of planning and foresight.
Yeah.
Still staying on top of your core brands, so Hui, Blissful, Javatized, brands that we're going to keep around forever, and then also having enough diversity to keep it interesting.
Yeah. And so, of course, you can find your beers in stores, because I have purchased your beers in stores.
Right, absolutely.
Which is awesome, because I know a lot of people can't get all the way up here, so having the stores down there is kind of a nice little thing.
Yeah. Especially, we've signed some deals with some distributors. So we're with JJ Taylor for the South Metro.
Okay. Yeah.
We just signed that. I think that just went into an action beginning of last month. So we'll be hitting a lot more retail down in the South Metro.
Awesome.
We have a couple other partners that are in the surrounding area, up into the Dakotas and then all the way to Fargo.
Wow.
So we'll have cans available in liquor stores. We're going to be on a lot more draft lines, hopefully. We have a couple new brands that we're launching with that kind of intention in mind, is get more draft lines. But we're also going to have some more can-only releases. We'll have some draft here, basically, but everything else will be can drops. And that'll be nationwide.
Awesome.
So we'll also be landing just about everywhere.
You guys are rocking it right now, I'll tell you.
Yeah. It's been a journey for sure.
And I think you mentioned earlier, you've been here for about 2 years.
Yep.
But how long has the brewery itself been?
The brewery opened in 2015.
Okay.
May of 2015 was when the brewery launched.
4 years.
And that was, it's been intense growth.
Yeah,
I'd say.
Phase. So we went from brewing in a garage to the 10-barrel system that you can see. Now we have a 30-barrel brew house, 4-vessel. Well, 3-vessel, but there's a kind of a caveat to it. But anyway, the growth has been insane. None of us, Matt will say that he anticipated the growth, but none of us really thought we'd be where we are right now.
Sure.
We'll be clipping probably around 8,000 barrels this year, somewhere in that realm, depending on how everything goes. That's a growth on 3,200 last year.
Wow.
So
do you guys worry about the same thing that Castle Danger is dealing with?
To a much lower extent. In Castle Danger, I think they're less worried about it than they actually, lead on, because a lot of their distribution and sales is what drives them to continue to grow. So they're not really worried about it. It will hurt their bottom line, because obviously the growlers are. The margin on it is insane.
Yeah.
You make a lot more money on growlers. I'm curious to see how it lands. Definitely something that we're all thinking about.
Yeah. Now. I was a little bit when it started coming about Castle Danger. I thought, well, it's not that bad because people just can't get growlers. But I think about the people who live up there, and they go to the brewery every week to get their growler or whatever for the weekend, and now they can't get it anymore.
Right.
Was that crowler too, or
I think it's everything.
It's everything. It limits what you can distribute from your
the tap room.
The tap room, yeah.
So Minnesota's got some weird laws with the 750 and the 64, so it's already limiting on what we can do, and that's something that we're working with the guild on, and we're trying to get the Brewers Association too to kind of help us out and get some laws changed to help us do that. You can look at other markets like Colorado, you can sell whatever you want out of your tap room, and there's still liquor stores that do just fine in those areas. So I think it's some lobbyists and some lobbying that's going on that we need to have better communication with and say, we're not going to hurt your bottom line. We just want to have the availability for our locals. They don't want to have to go and see a markup somewhere.
Sure.
And they want to support their local business.
Sure.
So it's, we're never going to be selling Jameson or,
of course not.
Liquor stores are still going to have a place, and we're not going to sell Bud Light to anyone. So, we're not going to necessarily be hurting their bottom line all that much, but it would give us a lot more flexibility.
Yeah. Well, Ben, thanks for coming, hanging out with us. Ben's going to stick around throughout the podcast as much as he wants to. And
absolutely.
We're going to chat about the Loons. We got some other things we're going to talk about. So we should get into it, boys. We have... Oh, what?
Dave hasn't gotten to talk about his beer.
Oh, Dave hasn't gotten to
talk about it. Ben mentioned it. I am having the Javatize. It's the coffee stout. And I figured since as we record this, it's still before noon after a long night, so I figured it was perfect combination with a little coffee and beer. Is there any specific coffee you use for this? Or?
Yeah, so we use Paradise Roasters in Minneapolis exclusively, and we worked with them on getting the right roast. A lot of coffee beers can throw a really gnarly green pepper aroma and flavor that we really tried to avoid. So we worked with them closely on trying a bunch of their different roasts and dialing that in. So it's a really smooth drinking.
That's exactly the word I'd use.
Lots of coffee, flavor, aroma.
And I'm not a fan of green pepper, so I'm glad you guys were able to avoid that. So it is smooth. That was the one word I would use too.
Excellent. So. Yeah, it's got a lot of punch. So I'm happy with it.
David, and I would like to just say, as Ben mentioned, I have the Fruit Smack Mango. It's fantastic.
Yeah.
I've really gotten into these fruit IPAs.
Yeah.
What hops do you use in this?
So in that one, we use I think it's not Denali anymore. It's 06277, and that's also changing. They're going to release a new brand name for it pretty soon. So we used Denali because we kind of wanted that pineapple to kind of complement the mango. Geez, that was a while ago. I have to try to remember what we put in that one. We have Amarillo. We have the other one? Oh, Hallertau Marine Bavaria.
Cool.
So
It's very good.
I mean, it's not necessarily the sexy, like Citra Mosaic, whatever.
Right,
But
yeah.
we wanted to do more than just like have sexy hops in it. We wanted to really play off of the mango and have that be the center, the focus of the IPA. So
Yeah, it's very good.
excellent. Yeah.
All right, so now let's talk about some games.
Yes.
So before we can talk about those games, I just want to say, David, you were at the game last night.
I was.
Dave and I were at the Monticello Lions Brew Fest.
Along Lupulin was there representing.
Lupulin was there
Yeah.
representing. There was a lot of other breweries that we've been to who were there. So we're a little, we're not feeling 100% today, but we're going to muscle through this whole thing. We had, let's talk about the Portland game first.
Yes, U.S. Open.
U.S. Open
Yep.
Cup, because that was a huge game. All three of us were there. We went into that game thinking, if we win this one, we're going to Atlanta.
Right, yeah.
For the final. We
For the
knew
final.
that. We had known that.
Yes. We had
Thanks
known
to
that.
Atlanta
Yeah.
beating Orlando the night before.
And it was a tough fought game.
Well, and I don't know about you guys, but I mean, going into that, the game was on Wednesday. It followed. We should mention, of course, it followed the Portland game on Sunday at All
Right,
Outs,
yeah.
where it was a 1-0 kind of hard fought win. And so, I mean, going into the Open Cup semifinal against Portland, I kind of looked at it like a coin flip. You knew that Portland was going to put out a strong side, as did Minnesota. So, I wouldn't call it nervous, but I knew it was going to be kind of a tough game.
Yeah, and I piggyback that. It was one of those things where you could tell the league match, they were just kind of feeling each other out. They didn't want to show their hand at all. It was very boring and just kind of, I don't know. It was just a a poker match.
It was
And
that one ended 1-0.
Yeah,
So
we had no idea what was going to happen. We just knew both teams want to get to where they're going.
Yes.
And that's Atlanta. And so it's going to be a strong squad, and it's going to be an interesting one. I thought it was going to be a higher scoring match, perfectly honest, but
Yeah.
they're going to open it up a little more.
I thought they were going to open up a little bit more too. But we were there. We, of course, were yelling and screaming the whole damn match.
yes, we were right behind the players.
Right behind the players. We were
That was
actually
pretty cool.
We were actually on a photo.
Yes.
E Pluribus Lunum had us watching the game during some action moment.
And
I wasn't watching. I was talking.
yes,
Yeah, you were talking.
Yeah, and Tony, you and I were actually watching.
No, I
the
think,
game.
to be fair, I think I was explaining the finer points of
Yes,
soccer to your friends. Is
Now,
what was
the
happening.
funny
in that.
thing is, what I brought up was the fact that this isn't the first time Dave's been on a photo and he doesn't look like he's interested. Back when we were at the University of Minnesota, we used to go to University of Minnesota football games. And they took a picture for their next season tickets, and it was a picture of our row, and Dave is eating nachos. We're all cheering, and Dave's eating nachos.
Everybody's standing up, just going crazy. I'm sitting down here eating my nacho, and that because we were in the I want to say supporter section, the student section.
Student section, yeah.
Priorities, man.
Fourth row.
And that flyer went out to like every student at the U, I think. So it was great.
I just remember seeing it. I probably still have that somewhere, but should bring it out. But yeah, anyway, so great seats to that game, and it I don't know. It started out fine. I don't know if I could get into the finer points of the attack, but at least early on, I mean, we should start with a goal.
Yeah.
It was a Darwin Quintero. Another
yep.
penalty kick.
Yep.
This one he did convert in the 22nd minute, and I don't think Portland could argue it was a handball in the box, if you remember.
Yeah, it was
but-
a handball.
Well, and I've seen a lot of people argue it wasn't.
Okay.
Well, yeah, because he did the Superman, right?
Yeah, and it's like, it doesn't matter what you do. If you're going to make yourself bigger,
Yeah.
it's going to be a PK. And a lot of people were trying to argue that, well, think about it, he's got a ball coming at his face. It doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter.
If you stick your arm up, you're making yourself bigger, you're going to get a PK.
Yep.
It doesn't, or at least a handball.
Handball, yeah.
It doesn't matter. It's going to be a...
I can see why anybody, especially on Portland, would want to argue that goal, because it is a tough one. Because you can't necessarily say. Per rules, it was correct. It was a correct call, I believe. But it is a tough one to say, because it's not like, I don't think you could say that his actions prevented a goal in that particular case.
And remember, we have.
Oh, right, yeah, exactly.
So it's a
That's
little
good
hard.
point.
Yeah.
And remember, we have no VAR in the U.S. Open Cup.
Yes.
Right,
So
As soon as they call
it, it is what it is.
right.
You know.
Yeah, it was the right call. And I should point out, everyone that was upset about